This is The Joy of Paintball. I'm Clint Riddle, and today we talk with Christian Dallas Smith of In the Pits Paintball. If you don't know, In the Pits is a podcast focused predominantly on Texas paintball. He gets a few cool guys in there, some Dynasty guys. He got Jimmy Hickey the other day. He's got a lot of cool folks on there. We talk about him playing with the Texas Titans, talk about his background as a teacher, talk about In the Pits being acquired by MLPB, which is pretty cool. Major League Paintball he's now operating under their canopy. It's still called In the Pits though. So it's great conversation. He's a cool dude. I've had the privilege of being on his podcast. I've had the privilege of just getting to chat with him a few times. He's a really cool guy and has a lot of great things to say. So without further ado, here is Christian Dallas Smith on The Joy of Paintball. Sorry for pointing at you. I know that's rude. All right, man. It's been a long time coming. Thank you so much for doing this. How's the pup, first off? I need to ask that.
The pup's great. I'm just here kind of jamming out to the jazz flute in the intro, you know?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Right on. All right. So this is Joy of Paintball. Welcome. I have Christian Dallas Smith with me today, and he's, how do I say this? He has always been the host of In the Pits, Texas-specific podcast. He plays for the Texas Titans, and In the Pits has now been brought in under the MLPB network. Is that correct?
Yeah. So basically, I do my shows on their channel. I've been brought in under their umbrella. Ryan Gray, like the story behind that. So for those that listen to my show, a couple weeks back, I announced that right after you actually came on for the open dialogue about burnout, and that there was no coincidence that was the episode, and I announced that I was going to be not stepping away entirely, but wasn't going to go live every week.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, Ryan Gray gives me a phone call. He says, "Hey, I want to bring he's looking to build basically a network of shows, bring more content to the Major League Paintball channel, make it so that if you kind of give it like a Sports Center vibe where there's always discussion, always content going on throughout the week on that channel, more than just the coach's show, more than just like reruns of games, like there's going to be something new every day during the week is the goal."
Okay.
So me, as far as I know, I'm the first one to be brought in. My show being on Wednesday evenings, he's wanting to start out with getting one show every weekday, eventually expand that to as many as we can get, I believe.
That's awesome. I had no idea he was that involved with MLPB. Like, I know he's coaching all the time, and he's huge in Texas. So
yeah. So much of like paintball is there's with the community being as small as it is, if you want something to happen, you really have a lot of freedom to just go out and make it happen. There's no like paperwork or there's no like going through the proper channels, because for the most part it's just like you ask someone or you send a message like to, for example, like Tom Cole. Like he's a lot of the people that like are the powers that be in our sport are very accessible and down to have conversations and down to like help expand the boundaries on what's out there. So nice. So yeah, he wanted to make it happen, and so he just said, "Hey, can we do this?" Got the approval and reached out to me, and now here we are. Tomorrow I'm going to be recording my second episode. So dating, I guess the recording today is March 25th. So,
okay.
So yeah, tomorrow is going to be my second episode. I'm going to have the MVP of the Elite Division for USXBL. His name is Jet Isidro, nicknamed Jetski.
Nice.
Plays for the semi-pro Shock team, but came in with the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army and won the event. So he's going to get his story featured.
Sweet. I love that. It's like coming to fruition, man. I feel like that was from the start in the pits, all about Texas paintball, and now you're like on like you're already big, but like this is like, I guess there's national clout coming with that, which sounds weird to say because Texas.
Yeah,
really
it's
is,
like
you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be.
Yeah,
rude, but like
yeah. There's more. There's definitely more notoriety there.
yeah,
But it was never about the notoriety for me. It was always like I don't do this show for me. I do it. I don't even do it for the listeners. I do it for the guests.
Yeah.
I do it so that their stories and like the people in the community that maybe aren't a pro player, or they're not involved with one of like the big dog like companies in the industry, they still contribute to the community, to the scene. And so like highlighting even like the smaller boutiques or the coach of an all girls team, or like I've even brought on an entire youth division girls team. Like I brought on the Dallas Dolls, all of the players, all 8 of them. I brought on an entire youth team.
Super cool.
So just highlighting all different aspects of the community.
Yeah, I love that. I think I would imagine most people in our line of work would agree with you. Like it's for the guest. Like I love anytime I get to like hop on your show or just whoever I get to talk to. I've been thinking about this a lot. I used to be like a barista at a coffee shop, and that was while I was teaching. And so it was like I got to talk to adults at the coffee shop, you know? and
right. Yeah.
and so
I know all about that. Yeah.
So I'd have like the like good, like, I don't know, just fun, cool conversations with folks. And I've been missing that a lot. And this is kind of filling that cup, like where I get to go and like just hear people's story, and it goes whatever direction it goes. It's not like this is about paintball. It is about creators. But I mean, you can have a pretty loose interpretation of that second one. So, I love the idea that it's all about the guests. It's all about, just giving them a platform to talk. So,
yeah. There's a lot of great individuals, especially in Texas. Like, I mean, you being a member of Texas, you know how big the state of Texas is, and within the region that is Texas, there are so many different like cities, so many different fields that have their own community. Like even within your city of Dallas or the DFW area, there's the community over at Paintball Fit. There's a community over at DFW Adventure Park or at Fun on the Run or at Giant Party Sports. That's 4 major fields.
Yeah.
And there's more that I haven't listed. Like I didn't say, like Cousins used to be a huge or a much bigger field.
ICPL or Tin Man event. I forget what it's called, but
yeah. And that's in one city in Texas. But if you go several hundred miles down south, then you've got like San Antonio's X Factor. You've got Paintball Nights. You've got Outlaw Paintball in Pflugerville. You've got Lost in San Marcos. All along the I-35 corridor. And that's just going in one direction. Not to mention Houston. Not to mention Lubbock, El Paso, the Valley, Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
Like there's so big of a region, and now with these teams even outside of Texas that are traveling into Texas to compete, like teams over in Louisiana and Oklahoma, even all the way like Florida. I know for the Bunkerfest series 2 years ago, Enemy of the State flew in from New York.
What the?
So just the region is getting bigger and bigger, and the show was created so that like partly just to help me keep tabs on everything that's going on. Like it's so difficult.
I feel that. Yeah, That's amazing. All right. Well, let's see. What have I missed? Are you still with Project? You still working with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I see you're wearing your project
Yeah.
shirt
Gotta
there.
represent.
So,
That's
I actually, as of last Thursday, I accepted a new job. I'm going to be working for the state. Doing, so it's going to be with the Texas Health and Human Services Commission, and they handle, um, like Medicaid benefits, SNAP, which
oh.
used to be like food stamps. So
Mm.
like handling like applications processing for government assistance is going to
Good.
be what I am doing. So as of the recording of this episode, I'm going to be with Project for about another week and a half. My last day is going to be next Thursday because Friday morning I'm going to be flying out to go compete in the upcoming WCPPL.
Right on. Well, congratulations on the new job. I know that was kind of a part of the burnout, I think. Um,
Yeah, I mean, like don't get me wrong, working for Project has been fantastic.
yeah.
It's been great to be like around Ryan Brand and Archie Montemayor on a pretty much daily basis, being like getting to know more about the industry, getting more involved on like being in it, like able to call myself an industry guy was it was a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But it also like gave me like so many more connections. Like Archie was with Dynasty for up until a few months ago, so getting connected with guys like like the guys over at Hormesis,
Hmm.
Miko Huttonen, Kevin, Oliver, getting connected with him, getting connected with Ryan Greenspan, Alex Frazier, pretty much everybody on Dynasty. Getting connected with Nick Laval, who does a lot of the designs as far as the like the JT or GI products
Yeah.
that Project releases, and then of course like with Ryan Brand and with everybody on X Factor is already doing a little bit more with just because they're my home field, they're my home team. But building those connections and like meeting everybody at World Cup when working the booth the last 2 years, it's been a really cool experience. But that being said, it's not a full time thing, or it wasn't a full time thing for me. And yeah, as fun as it was, I'm still wanting to buy a house eventually. I'm still
Yeah.
wanting to start a family eventually. So yeah, the job hunt has been long. I think the job market has been very interesting,
Hmm.
especially post COVID. But the last 2 years has been difficult, and so the search took a little bit longer than anticipated. But we got it done.
Nice. Yeah, man. Well, um, I'm happy for you. I'm happy to hear that you're working with Texas Health. I've got I deal with them, and they need all the help they can get. So I'm glad that good folks are working there. Uh, yeah, dude. Like, sorry, just thinking about all this stuff. You've in the pits. You're on like what episode? Are you in 200s?
Not yet.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm recording episode 138. So, yeah, coming up on 3 years here in a couple of months.
Hey guys, gonna interrupt real quick to do my shout out. Today I want to bring attention to Paintball Boutique. If you go follow them on Instagram, on TikTok, you can go see a lot of their cool fashion designs. Tyler is operating all of that and doing some really cool stuff. And he does really cool videos to sort of follow along and talk about the whole process and what he's thinking. And yeah, super cool stuff. Check them out. Love what they're doing. Paintball Boutique. Back to the show.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I don't know if we're still recording.
Sorry,
I've
dude.
just been vamping this whole time.
Dude, you
I don't know
champ.
if it's gonna. Yeah,
You-
I don't know if it's gonna save on the recording or not. But we don't like that dead time on
Okay.
air.
Well, that's just you're so used to the live stuff, so we can pause and play
Yeah.
whatever. And whenever my stuff
it's all
craps
good.
out, I'm sorry, man. I don't know.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's the elementary music teacher in me. I'm just ready to just pivot
Props.
on zero notice. Like, yeah.
So, real quick about the teaching. Any desire to go back to that, or you feel like you're?
Man, it's so interesting. Like, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards no. Like, so I started teaching. You got to understand, my first year of teaching was fall of 2019.
Yeah. So you had a rough go.
So
for sure.
spring break was lit.
Yeah.
Let's just say that spring break of 2020.
Yeah.
It was so good that we never came back.
That was a
so-
rough go. Well, if you
Yeah,
decide to
that
come
was
back,
that was
I'd
my
wait
first year.
until Texas gets some stuff figured out.
Yeah, that was my first year of teaching. So I stuck it out for 3 more years after that. So taught for 4 years. The whole like starting teaching, and then COVID pandemic, and then trying to figure out how to do it for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. No one.
there was a lot of I just knew, like, at the start of my 4th year, there was, and I won't go into too much detail here on the air, but there was a classroom, I won't say incident, but there was something that happened during my class that made me realize, I was like, I don't think I can handle a lifetime of this.
Yeah, dude. I say, like,
Yeah,
I totally
and-
understand.
Yeah, and there was, like, it wasn't like a violent student or anything like that, but just realizing that after that, like, I was so uncomfortable in the position that I was in, and it was like it wasn't anything like wrong that the administration did or a parent did or anything like that. It was like throughout, teaching young humans, that it was a situation that it could happen again.
Yeah.
Right. And it made me uncomfortable to the point where I was like, is this something that I can deal with more of?
Yeah.
And my answer was no. So, like, in October of that year, I had pretty much decided, I was like, hey, this is gonna be my last year. And another thing, like, that I kind of noticed was, like, that around that time, post, like, 2-3 years after COVID, so many teachers that I knew were like, as soon as they hit their rule of 65, they were out.
Yeah.
And the rule of 65, for those who don't know, in the teaching world, is basically when you're eligible to receive your full TRS retirement benefits, is whenever your age plus your number of years teaching equals 65, is when you can withdraw without penalty, essentially. For me, I knew, like, time is very valuable to me, and even though I was teaching for 4 years, and after teaching for 5 years is when you get vested, which is where you can, like, start with, you could withdraw at all, but you would get a heavy penalty, essentially. That extra year of getting vested wasn't worth it to me. I would much rather, like, spend it, like, getting established in a new career. And so I would say that I think I used my time as well as I could have. I went and did one of those online courses through the University of Texas, doing data, so learning, like, coding, things like that, learning database languages, learning a little bit of AI in there as well. It was just time is so valuable, and keeping in touch with some of my colleagues in the education world that were close to retiring, or maybe they did just retire. One of the things that they had all been posting about was like how much better their health was after they got out.
For sure.
Which, yeah, I know, like, you still being a teacher, I'm sure it's different at the secondary level than it is at elementary.
I think
But
so. I
still,
don't know.
there's like a lot. I'm guessing there's a lot of the same challenges and frustrations and like wear and tear on stress levels, especially.
Yeah, man. You kind of get callous to a lot of things. So I commend you for like having the wherewithal to like take a plunge, man. I know that's got to be like a scary thing.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing was like, and I I felt like as those I went through that incident, I noticed that it made me like a little bit nervous to still give my all,
Mm-hmm.
and for humans of that age, like ages 4 to 11 or 4 to 12, they deserved someone who could give their all. And so I felt like after that happened, I was no longer the right person for the job. And I stepped aside.
Well, uh, like, again, like just knowing, like being aware of that, that's huge. So, good on you, man. And it sounds like uh, it's better for your health, better for you as a person. Like you got a wife, girlfriend,
Yep.
wife. You
Wife.
have a wife. Like you have other responsibilities, and and like that is more important. So, good job, dude. All right. Well, let's bring it back. I don't know what happened. My internet something, but I was talking about your show, and I wanted to say like what I like about your show is the diversity that you do, like the our variety that you use in there. So things like your award show, I love it. The Jeopardy was so much fun.
Yep.
Even watching it like is amazing. And things like bringing on whole teams, young like youth teams, women teams, like bringing on or doing like your round table type things. Love that stuff. I you do things and I'm like, man, I wish I'd have done that. Like you're on it, dude. Like I love everything you do about that show. So, um, if you, I guess I just wanted to like give you your flowers. Good job, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's I do my best to highlight all different members of the community, not just like part of the idea of, or I guess whenever I was starting the show was, um, there weren't very many podcasts around. It was like Spick and Span and Play the Game were the main two. I think Center 50 might have been there.
Carl still had his going during COVID.
Yeah, but it was like a lot of pro players featuring other pro players or former pro players, and I just wanted to make sure that even like there's more to a community, there's more to a scene than just the professional players. And just because you're not a individual that is currently playing pro or has played pro in the past, it doesn't mean you're not contributing in a meaningful way to the scene. So like of course my first episode was with Colt Roberts, who's one of my good friends. But after that, like I made it my mission to really get varied in there. Like episode 2 were two players from then Tribe, Zach Sears and Kyle Hale. After that, it was Carlos, who's Get That Shot. He's very big in the media side now, and he's gone way far. But like, I had Sasha on, had Jel Stewart, who was coaching AC Diesel at the time, but also like a behind the scenes guy for USXBL at the time. Owner of a field, owner of
Maxed, right?
Yeah, I've had Charles Dean on. Like there's so many people on this list that I'm looking at right now. But and I wish I could share my screen here, but I have a spreadsheet where I have every single episode, the date of the recording, the date that the episode's posted, the name of the guest, as well as like their like the topic. So it could be like either their team or their brand or what they do within paintball. But another thing that I made sure to put on this sheet is the city that they're out of.
Okay.
So I didn't like. I try to avoid having like 5 guests in a row, all from San Antonio or all from Waxahachie.
Yeah.
I want to make it a cognitive like goal to feature like keep some variety in the locations as well. Even at times going outside of the state, like I think my first guest that was from outside of Texas was a man named Christian Woodmansey, who at the time was he had played an event with like AC Dallas back when it was the current Paintball Fit players playing under that name. He played for Energy Elite at the time, and I want to say he's back on Energy Elite. But he had reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, I like your show," and that was back like let's see, at Christian Woodmansey was episode 22, so I'd only been doing it for like 4 or 5 months.
That's dope.
And he's mainly known for like Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
He's like a high up
Interesting.
black belt up in the Philly area. I think he is like I don't know if he owns like several gyms, but he's like a bigwig in in that world. So like community members like that there, and those stories, like his story, yes, he's a pro player, but like I don't feel like he would ever get featured. And
I mean, I agree. Like thinking about like he's been on a lot of like seasoned teams. Maybe that's not right. A lot of known teams, and like I have to do like I have to go through the Rolodex in my head to try to match a face to the name. So you're doing good work, man. Like I love this. That's so cool. At first I was like, wow, Christian is like type A, like like organizing everything. And I was while you were talking, I was like, why would he need this information? But the like knowing the cities, like, and you're just doing your due diligence and making sure that you're like giving the state, I use that term loosely, the country that is Texas, and like making sure you're giving representation across all of it. Like, man, you're a very impressive podcaster, sir. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I mean the hardest part has just been the consistency of it all, and I mean this even for like you've been going for multiple years at this point.
Yeah,
this is,
with
are you
like
in year 3
with like
as well?
5-month gaps between some of them. It's more just like initially it was like, do I get a wild hair? I had Colt for my first guy also. He was, he's just a patron of the sport, and in a different kind of way, not like Alex Martinez or Bart or Sarge. Like he's like he commissioned me to do a painting, and I was like, hey, what if we talk about the painting and I just interview you while we do this? And that was kind of the start of it, and it was fun. And so I just sort of would, whoever I was talking to or maybe doing work, like I think my second guest was Carl Markowski, and I was doing some stuff for him, and it was just sort of like in passing, like, hey, by the way, you want to do an interview type thing. So that was it initially, and then I think I kind of like, I don't know, it was something in the water, because like Dan started his thing pretty much like around, like he was probably doing it way before I picked it back up again, because he's another one of these people that's like just organized like you. Like I'm kind of like, we'll see how it goes. Anyway,
I think part of that is like just how with technology nowadays, it's easy.
yeah.
Like it's way easier to get content out there. Like you can just record stuff live, have it put up. Like you don't really have to do much editing nowadays, or You don't even need to like have software that you're spending a lot of money on to get stuff out. It certainly makes things easier, but it's not the level of buy-in in order to just get stuff out there is not nearly as high as it used to
For
be.
sure.
Like even this microphone that I'm using, it's a very good quality mic. It's like $100,
Yeah.
which, it's depending on who, $100. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say like, oh, $100 is like chump change.
Yeah. But in the realm of
But
microphones.
you can do it with like,
Yeah.
yeah. You can do it with like earbuds and like the little microphone that comes with like your cell phone.
Yeah.
And there's just in Texas, I can count 5 different podcasts that are going on because like you've got In the Pits, you've got Joy of Paintball, you've got After the Buzzer with Robert Jordan.
Oh yeah.
You've got Dan Shelley's.
His is all through
you've
like
got Shell the
Facebook,
podcast.
isn't it? Robert's.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's all in his Facebook profile. But yeah, it's pretty consistently every Tuesday morning. And then Ryan Moffat a couple months back moved to Texas, so we're counting him now.
For sure.
So yeah, it's been cool to see the number of podcasts that have been popping up.
Dude. Well, yeah, like I was saying, it's something in the water. Like you've been going strong for 3 years, and Robert too. I think.
Robert's been going for I want to say close to 2 years now.
Yeah, I'll get notifications on Facebook all the time, like Robert tagged you in something, and I'm like, oh, cool, like, but it's always him like tagging everyone. I'm not a huge Facebook guy, so whatever it is, but he, he's asking a question to the community or whatever. But anyway, yeah, dude, it's exciting. I think. Like I growing up in Texas, I've got a few years on you, but the paintball scene, it was Dallas, and then like San Antonio wasn't. The reason it was big is because of X Factor, but I'm using the word big kind of loosely. Like X Factor was still pretty spread out. Like a lot of the team was not in San Antonio, and
right.
so to see it now, like that we have this huge like base like across our huge state, the fact that Houston has a team, and then they have their like what is Nico's, is Oni his stuff or
no Nico Hyde?
What's his like, he's got like I can't think of the word, not like,
are you thinking of his team or his brand? His brand's Enjoy Paintball. But the team he actually is now playing semi-pro with Outlaw Anodized.
Gotcha. Okay.
With Devin Stewart.
That's what I thought. All right. Yeah. Or no. Okay. I was thinking of Hypnotic, but I was thinking of like there's just
Hypnotic,
I mean there's so many teams that, and it's not just teams. It's like Titans are like this too, where you'll have multiple teams. I can't think of the word. It's driving me nuts.
Programs.
Yeah. Programs. So like that didn't used to be a thing. I'm trying to remember, like, I think it was it Shock Kids or it was right after I stopped playing, but that was the first program really that I knew of that was coming up. And before that, it was everyone just kind of like had a team, and if you were a buddy with someone that was better than you, then you kind of looked after each other. So. Sorry, dude. I feel like I'm going all over the place with this.
No, I think at least in Texas, like the number of programs with multiple lines that have come up, even since like the Titans have been formed. Like this year is our 5th year, but it used to be like the programs in Texas were pretty much like notorious, and and I guess Shut Up or Trying got started. Like 2018, I want to say, is when their first D5 event was. Okay. But there weren't very many programs. Well, I guess another big one back around those times, along with Notorious, was Texas Phalanx.
Yeah, I remember that now.
They had multiple lines, but it's cool to see that those players are sticking around, And the program's another thing that they offer is for beginner players jumping in, trying to get a team. You're with a group of guys that have been doing it and can give you those shortcuts to where you're not flailing around and trying to figure it out all on your own, because there are a lot of wrong ways to do
Yeah,
paintball.
for sure.
And you can get stuck in division. You can get stuck not getting any better for many years
Yeah.
trying to figure it out on your
Yeah.
own. And I certainly was like that for my first couple of years playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be like a lot of slime balls too, like a lot of just snake oil salesmen.
Yeah. If you are joining a new team and you are being asked to give monthly dues, watch
Yeah.
out. That's usually a sign.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying every team that does that is shady, but all of the shady teams that I've known have done that.
Yeah. But I think it's getting better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as like the community's getting more and more connected with each other across the state.
Mhm.
Like the good guys are more known. The bad guys that are getting ousted in different cities, those names are getting around
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's jump into these questions. I ask everyone that comes on. I've been asking two questions for a while now. I threw a few more at you that I should have been asking everyone, but we'll start with just kind of the art ones. So I ask everyone, what is a piece of art that stopped you in your tracks? And I'm gonna leave it open, like your interpretation of art, however you want. I know you're a music guy, so if there's something that like stands out to you that like just captivated you, cool. Or it could be like maybe it could be something totally sentimental, personal, or it could be some like a capital A art piece. So,
Yeah, I've got a couple of answers for this. The first, so if you're going more on the visual side, when my dad retired from the Air Force, we took a big trip to Italy,
cool.
and we toured a lot of different cathedrals.
Nice.
So the main one in the Vatican is actually not the one that caught my eye the most. There's another one, and I can't remember the name because there's so many nearby. But just going to Italy and touring a lot of the different cathedrals, they're so intricate, and I found that me so just to back up a little bit on my background with art and all that. So I am a singer. My bachelor's degree was a Bachelor of Music in vocal music studies.
Man. Okay.
So that it's essentially the music education degree on the vocal side. But while I didn't join choir until my sophomore year of high school.
Gotcha.
Before that, I was a bass trombone player, and I played trombone since I was 12 years old, and continued to play even when I was in my vocal degree in my undergrad. I was still like playing trombone. Like I marched with the University of Texas Longhorn Band.
Nice.
My whole family does band. Most of them started doing choir as well after I joined.
Oh, okay.
I've in high school I did orchestra as a trombone player. I did musicals both as a pit orchestra member and on stage. I've done jazz choir both as a singer and as the soundboard technician.
All right.
I've done a cappella stuff. I think I wrote a piece in high school as well. So and in college, at one time I was in, I think, 3 choirs as well as doing the marching band. So music was a huge part of my life. And
how did you do anything else? That's like
I didn't
Okay.
really. Yeah, paintball didn't start until college, until my, well, I guess I kind of did paintball at the same time, but I didn't play any events while I was marching.
Okay.
Um, but it's funny that when you sent me these questions, I sat down and I thought like music was such a big part of my life up until after I quit teaching,
Huh.
and it's been pretty absent
Interesting.
for the last 2 years or so, and it's something that I've wanting to get back into. And I actually on our bookshelf I still have a binder full of the music, the sheet music from when I did my junior recital,
Okay.
and I just sang through that, and I'm like, man, I miss this. And even though it's been so long, I still remember a couple of pieces that I did or that I listened to, um, that in this case stopped me in my tracks. It brought me to tears. And all of these, like linking it back to the cathedrals, all of these pieces that moved me in this way, um, both of them were the creation story.
Okay.
So Genesis 1,
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. And these pieces, so the first one that made me feel this way was the piece is called "In the Beginning." It's by Aaron Copland,
Okay.
who is, if you ever sing in a choir, Aaron Copland's a name that you'll probably hear.
Right.
He wrote a lot of pieces in like the mid 1900s. Um, and then the second one was one that I did my final semester in college choir before I started student teaching, was called "The Creation" by Willie Richter.
All right.
That and both of those pieces basically drawn from the exact same text. Um, but it's funny that the Christianity has inspired so much
Yeah. So much.
beauty. And I encourage anybody, and for me, it's always like the final, like the final minute or so of these songs that really hit me.
Okay.
And for the Copeland piece, the words were, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and the chords in and the different progressions in that little section towards the end was just incredible. And it was during my first year being in choir. I was living in Nebraska at the time. I was a sophomore in high school, and we were at the All-State Convention. I had made All-State Orchestra as a trombone player. But I had some friends in choir that had made All-State Choir, and I was listening to I had gone in person to sit in on their dress rehearsal because I would be warming up while they were on stage for their actual concert.
Nice.
And man, that really opened my eyes and changed the way that I viewed music, because I had a lot of fun playing the trombone, like the act of playing it and learning the music and feeling it. I had a lot of fun playing it, but I didn't find so much enjoyment listening to concert band pieces or orchestra pieces. I just didn't feel it.
I can see that.
Yeah, but I felt the opposite about choir. Like I even to this day, I'd say like I enjoy playing trombone more than I enjoy singing, but I enjoy listening to choir pieces more than I enjoy listening to concert band or orchestra or instrumental in general. And so I would say, like, for the audio side, go listen. Again, the pieces are "In the Beginning" by Aaron Copland and "The Creation" by Willie Richter. The Creation is about a 15-minute long piece.
A choral piece. Holy
Yes.
shit.
Yeah, but the Richter piece goes through all 7 days.
Okay. Wow.
and the ending, like even now thinking, I'm tearing up just thinking of the ending of that piece. Um, it just
Well, I can't wait to listen to it, man.
yeah, listening to it and like the text in um at the end of the Richter is about man being created and the human soul being created for the first time. Um, and yeah, just go
I
listen to it.
will.
I would strongly encourage you to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know for choir pieces it can sometimes be hard to decipher the words that are being said, the
Mm-hmm.
text. So I would encourage um, anybody who's listening who's maybe not in used to listening to choirs to also pull up the text and read it as you're listening, because it like with all the different chords, and especially if the singers that you're listening to have um a lot of vibrato, it can sometimes distort
Yeah.
the words.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I would say.
Sweet, man. I love that. You're the first audible art that has been mentioned. So I'm gonna say the first audible. Benny Carroll said a motivational speaker, and I'm not. I don't know. I guess that's audible, but I think I'm gonna count this one. I'm excited about this, and I'll try to play a little bit of it for the folks. I don't know the rules on YouTube. It's not monetized, so I don't think it.
Yeah,
means
I think
anything, or-
I believe the Copeland is in public domain. I'm not so sure about the Richter, but I believe the Copeland
Okay.
is.
All right, guys, one last interruption. I just wanted to let you guys know the player you should know. Today's player is recommended by a gentleman named Matt Schneider, and this is what Matt had to say about this particular player: that they are a great player on the field and better person off the field. A great family guy and always doing anything to grow the sport. He's been a great mentor to anyone since I've met him in 2008. And this player that you should know is Kai Warner of the New Orleans Hurricanes. So Kai, big shout out to you. You've clearly made an impression, and I would imagine lots of impressions if someone's reaching out about you. So thanks so much for growing the sport. Thanks so much for being that mentor that people need. And yeah, everyone go check him out. Kai Warner and New Orleans Hurricanes. Much love. Back to the show.
That's amazing, man. So, do you have a Christian background?
Yeah, I am raised Catholic. Okay. Obviously, my name is Christian. Yeah. Yeah, my background is there. I hear my wife chuckling in the background at that. I love it.
Right on.
But yeah, and I think that is a part of why those pieces hit me so hard.
I mean,
yeah, it gave like a real feeling of emotion and beauty to like the most important thing that has ever happened to us was like our first moments.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. Yeah, dude, I cannot wait to listen to it. And I'll pull up the lyrics. Is that the proper term? The text?
Yeah, the text or lyrics is appropriate enough, but
yeah, I'll pull that up and listen to it. All right, so then going back to you touring like cathedrals, you said the Vatican was a big deal for you. Do you remember a specific piece in there? Because
yeah, I mean the Sistine Chapel was amazing, but I think part of it was like when we went, it was very crowded, and that can take away a little bit from the experience. You know, part of me was like, you know, they whenever you go into the Sistine Chapel, they say, hey, like no photos, please, like no flash photography or anything like that. You know, put the cameras away. Yeah. And it is a little bit distracting when you know you've got tourists from all around the world there, and some people like may or may not have followed those rules, and it can be a little distracting whenever like you're trying to take it all in, and then like a flash goes off.
For sure. That was.
But there.
Go ahead.
yeah, the other cathedral, which I wish I could remember the name of, also in Rome, just had just such intricate detail. And there's another one that was actually in, I want to say it's in Philadelphia, and I will never be able to remember the name of it. But back going off on a big tangent here, but back when I was in, it was the summer before sixth grade.
Okay.
I want to say for me. So this was around 2007 or 2008, one of those 2 years.
That was sixth grade for you.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I was born in
Young
'96.
buck. Okay.
I had gone to Pennsylvania for, no, it was New York actually. I was in New York I was doing a Johns Hopkins summer program.
Okay.
And while I was there, the first, like, the camp was a 3-week long camp, and on that first Friday night, I get appendicitis.
No.
And so I have to be rushed to a hospital, transferred over to one of like the children's hospitals in New York, and it's usually like a quick thing.
Yeah.
To surgery, it's relatively simple, but it was 4th of July.
Oh gosh.
And so my surgery kept getting pushed back for these victims of like stabbings or fireworks gone wrong.
Yeah.
And I had been sitting in this children's hospital for like 2 days waiting to get operated on. Because I just kept getting pushed back. And this children's hospital was like a major hospital. They take me from the smaller place. And the way that my mom explained it to me, because she's a nurse, was that they were like, hey, we're gonna take this patient, and we can provide a higher level of care, because they were a children's, or they had a floor for children specifically. Okay. But because I kept getting pushed back, my surgery, my appendix burst.
Yeah.
And so, like as I was laying there, like the way my mom described it was like I remember them putting in the IV and like not feeling anything.
Oh gosh.
So like I was not in a good way. I was, the way she described it, she said I was dying.
I mean,
and like thinking about it now, like, I probably was.
Like,
and she had flown up to New York, and pulled all of her nursing strings and tricks to like get me on the next like surgery operating room. But because of that, like it was a week long in the hospital instead of like a day, because the appendix had burst. So I had like, learning to walk and to use a bathroom again and over that week. And so like, obviously I had missed out on the rest of the camp, but they had a second session. Okay. So I was going to be all right. And for that week we were staying in New Jersey with some of my mom's extended family, and for one of the days we had went into Philadelphia and went to a cathedral there, which like I remember looking up at the ceiling in this cathedral and thinking like it was so intricate all the way to like the robe. Like there was, I want to say it was a depiction of the 3 wise men that visited Jesus. Like the depiction of their robes, it looked like it was actually lined, like the robes were lined with rubies. I remember thinking the stained glass was so intricate that it was sparkling and it looked like real jewels.
Wow.
And I wish I could pull up the name of the cathedral in Philadelphia.
I'm gonna go on a deep dive.
Philly.
I'm gonna find it. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and find it. But I do know it's in Philadelphia, and I do remember like thinking, wow, this cathedral is huge. And we better like scoot into the middle of the pews for when everybody else comes in. And there were probably 10 people at that service.
Whoa.
That Sunday, and I remember being blown away. I was like, I was like, this place is so beautiful. Like, why aren't there more people here?
Gosh.
But that was probably the first instance of me being like blown away at a visual thing.
Wow.
And it's always
that's a good one,
like,
man.
Yeah, it's always been like these Christian inspired, for me, like more specifically Catholic inspired um, works
Yeah, dude.
that have just had so much impact.
I mean, they were the patrons for the longest time, especially in Western art. Like they, yeah, that's
Yep,
we
they
study
definitely
a
have.
vast
Yeah,
majority of Christian work coming up through
yeah.
art
I mean, what's the
history.
saying? Is like you've got more money than the Catholic Church, right?
I guess I don't know. That's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you can afford to be patrons for a lot of that when you're so moved and inspired.
yeah, yeah,
You have the capital and the gold
yeah,
behind it.
for sure. All right, that's great, man. Like lots of great answers there. Thank you. All right, who's an artist everyone needs to know about?
Over on the audio side, on the choral side specifically, I would say, um, oh gosh, I had the name on the tip of my tongue. He's I gotta look up. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Eric Whitaker is probably the one that you need to be listening
Okay.
to. Um, he is a contemporary composer. Does a lot of choral. He is active currently. He's best known for his choral stuff. Like he still writes stuff. He's still alive. Like so much of the choir stuff that you do is like, oh, this guy. Let's see, when did he die? Oh, 1600, 1400s. Like it's like 1700s. Oh, this guy was alive in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Like there's not.
Okay.
But Eric Whitaker is probably one of the more recent like superstars in the choral world.
All right.
So I would, and he does so many unique things. I remember doing a piece of his when he came to the university, where everybody had to download an app, and it would play like different like kind of galaxy inspired like sound effects, and like the whole choir would be like spread out across the hall.
Huh.
And you would hear, and the audience was also encouraged to download the app and like hit play at a specific time. And so and there was like a few different tracks I think that that could possibly play.
Dude,
So experiences like that
that's
really bring the the choral world into the 21st century. So I would say Eric Whitaker.
Okay.
Go listen to some of his pieces.
yeah. That's the app that you're describing. That sounds like a really cool, yeah, like performance art. It's cool. All right. Okay, now this one we're getting into the newer questions now. So this is one that I really am kicking myself that I haven't been asking because everyone's had bangers. So I'm excited to hear. What is the best advice that you've been given?
This one is I'll link it back to paintball on this. So when I started playing paintball, I started in the NCPA with the Texas
Shout
Longhorns,
out.
and the head of the Texas Longhorn team at that time was a man named Ryan Sutton,
Okay.
who was like he did a lot not just for the university team but like for college paintball in Texas. Like he ran the league.
Nice.
Essentially he was like he contacted fields, he set up events,
Nice.
got medals ordered and all of that, made sure that the rule books were up to date. Like he pretty much ran the league for a couple of years until Texas kind of got in with the rest of like the national NCPA, and the NCPA took over in scheduling those things. Yeah. So I'm attributing this piece of advice to him. I don't remember exactly if it was him that gave me this or if this was from someone else. But the advice was like, nothing happens unless people make it happen.
Okay.
And this was more specifically like when it was time for him to graduate, he was passing the reins down to make sure like people that the next group of players that were on the team understood that, hey, this doesn't happen, like paintball doesn't happen, the like what us going to events, us going to practice, us having a team, us having teammates doesn't happen unless you put in the legwork. So at that time, like one of the bigger things was like tabling at the start of the semester. There was like a 2-week period where all of the organizations, all of the clubs, even like fraternities and sororities would all have tables on like the main street in campus. And you had to be there pretty much, like have someone at your table around the clock for those 2 weeks if you wanted members in your organization, if you wanted to attract new
100%, yes.
members. And if you didn't do that and you didn't have any new members in your organization, guess what? When this year's seniors graduate, you're not going to have anybody to replace them.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've carried that so much into like doing the podcast, into helping run the Texas Titans. Like nothing happens unless you make it happen, and like trying to do things by committee isn't it's a recipe for complacency.
Okay.
Whereas like if you just have one guy that's like, hey, you are in charge of like booking our B&B, rather than like, hey, we're gonna have 8 people all vote on a B&B. Guess what? That's gonna take 2 weeks until everybody even reads the message, another week until everybody responds, and by then it's been booked. Things like scheduling practices, ordering jerseys, getting jerseys designed.
Gosh.
Like so much of that, if you just like do it, then it's gonna get done. But if you don't do it, then it's probably not. So
I like it.
So for me, it's like a lot of it also comes down to like, hey, like I want to invite this team to come scrimmage us for a layout weekend. Okay, cool. You want it. What are you doing to get it? Are you reaching out to a member of that team or the head of that team in order to confirm availability? Are you reaching out to your field to make sure that you have like you're going to be able to get on the box, or are you going to be fighting everybody else that's there to get playing time? It does your field, if it's a layout weekend, does your field know that you're bringing in one or multiple teams from outside so that they can prepare ahead of time to have enough paint for everyone? Like, does everybody know the start time? And so like for this, like for Tampa, I went and created like an itinerary for our practice. I said, hey, we are arriving at 8 a.m. We are starting paint in the air at 8:45 a.m. with breakout drills. That's going to happen for an hour and a half. Then we're going to take a 15-minute break. And then at 11 a.m., we're going to start a 3-team rotation for points. We're going to do that for an hour and a half. After that, we're doing a 15-minute break to refill paint. After that, we are doing 90-second drills. And we're doing that until the end of the day at 2 o'clock.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then, so
you are type A is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you kind of have to be, right? Especially, and I would say like my experience as an elementary school teacher, that has prepared me more for helping to run a paintball team than anything else could have. You have to be that specific in your planning. You have to think of every detail. Think of it as like you're writing a script for a performance. You have to have like every little thing.
I love it. That's my soundbite right there.
Yep.
I love it. Awesome, dude. Nothing happens. Or wait, no. What's the exact phrase?
Nothing happens unless you make it happen.
Okay, yeah. Nothing happens unless you make it happen. I love it. This is great, man. Like I said, I don't get to have these. Like, I could ask some students what best advice they've gotten, but I feel like most of them would be like, "What are you talking about?" So, that's great. Thank you very much. Yeah. Sorry, this is going back to me like talking with adults. It's real cool. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate all the time you've given me today. I appreciate you like first and foremost paving the way for Texas paintball players in every facet to have a platform to talk, and all the work you do through In the Pits and just in Texas in general. So thank you very much for that. I've got one more question for you, and
Okay.
this is you're the first person I've asked this.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
So you can't get like it's gonna be great no matter what you say. It's gonna be the best answer I've ever had at it. So it's a shame too because it's the name of the podcast. So Christian Dell Smith, what is the joy of paintball?
What is the joy of paintball? Personally, I like shooting the other team's snake runner off the break and getting to tell him, "Hey, you don't get to play paintball this point, buddy." That's my biggest joy in paintball.
I love it.
Um,
It's directed to the point.
yeah. So, yeah. Real quick though, a bonus for all of the people watching the video of this
Uh-oh.
podcast. We're gonna have a little puppy parade.
Yes. Let's see the puppy. Get to see a dope chair too. Whoa, that's not a puppy. That's a
Yep, this is my baby Bellies. She is 5 months old.
full grown. And
She is nowhere near full grown,
no.
but she is growing very fast. But yeah, this is my baby.
Wow.
This is Bellies.
It's a good looking dog, man. Ooh, puppy. So I can't. She is huge. What? Let's see.
Yeah, she's 45
Yeah.
pounds
It's-
and probably gonna be like 70, 80.
Holy shit.
Yep.
What is she? What kind of dog is she?
She is a lot of different
Okay.
things. She was a stray, so we think she's got lab, border collie, pit bull.
70, 80 pounds. Freaking. Is there Great
Yeah.
Dane in there? Like.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Wow. Well, she's adorable. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate this. And there you have it. The joy of paintball is shooting the snake runner off break. Tell him he doesn't get to play paintball. We'll end it on that. Thanks again, man.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone, you made it. That was my interview with Christian of In the Pits Paintball. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for sticking around. If you're interested in, contributing to the show or to my efforts, the biggest thing you can do, and I can't stress this enough, is to just donate to cureduchenne.org. It's a very personal foundation that helps try to defeat a disease that's affecting my family, so that's really near and dear to me. There's a link in the notes. If you want to donate directly to me, donate. I keep saying that. If you want to, support me, monthly, bi-monthly, whatever. If you want to do a little bit, a lot of it, whatever, you can go to patreon.com/riddlesart. I think it's a /. It's something. Riddlesart on patreon.com. There will be a link. Don't worry. But yeah, you can go there. I have several tiers that you can use. My favorite is the premium gold, just because that's my favorite paint. But there's Marbleizer, All-Star, or field paint, that one. But yeah, guys, I don't do this for the money. I do it because I get to talk to cool folks like Christian. And yeah, so hey, I hope you're enjoying these segments with the shout outs and the players you should know. I'm enjoying them. So if you guys have someone that you want to give their flowers, give them flowers. I don't know. I'm old. I don't know how it works. If you want to give someone their flowers, yeah, let me know. Reach out. You can DM me. You can just message me. You can yell at me from across the street, whatever. But yeah, let me know people that are doing cool things in the sport and people that represent our sport well. Yeah. That's it. Good night. So long. Farewell.